David, have you heard of this guy named Adnan Rashid?
Yeah, I debated him twice back in the day.
You did?
Yep. That's way back in the day. You're talking like, I don't even know the year, but like 2006, 2007-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Nabil slapped that dude once.
What do you mean slapped? Like literally
slapped? He slapped him in his hand. We were there, and Adnan Rashid tried to pull the Bible out of a Christian woman's hand. He was saying, "Give me your Bible. I'm going to show them something." And she goes, "Yeah, get your own Bible." And he goes, "Give it to me." And he goes to reach it, and Nabil slapped the crap out of his hand and puts his finger right in his face and says, "Don't touch her."
Wow.
And the woman sitting there, I've told you, I've shared this before, but the woman that goes, no, Adnan goes, "What are you doing? You're pacifist." And the woman's there going, "I don't think they're pacifist." And because anyway, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, it's because Jay Smith is from a group that's actually like pacifistic. You could kill all those dudes; they wouldn't fight back. So the Muslims there at Speaker's Corner, since Jay and his group are like the main Christians there for many years, they thought Christians are all pacifists and they would never. And then the guy tries to grab a Bible from a Christian woman and gets a crap slapped out of him.
See, this is the proof that Christianity is violent. You see? Christianity is violent. Why else would he slap somebody? You see? So Adnan Rashid had a few words to say. About taking over the Western world.
Oh, I have to say, a lot of Muslims lately have had a lot to say. They finally realize it literally does not matter what we say. The West is just going to keep saying, "Oh, Islam is great, Islam is wonderful," and we can be saying, "No, you're filthy, you're disgusting, you're dogs, and we're going to subjugate you, and you're all stupid enough to fall for it." And Western leaders will go, "Oh, great point. Islam is a religion of peace, yes."
Anthony should ask, congrats on your new computer. Thank you. Appreciate it. Zelensky was right. Please don't poison this conversation with talks about Ukraine and Putin. I don't want all the cultists to start crying. So I don't want to comment on that here. If you want to do this, we can make a whole live stream in which we can comment on this so that we can have all the cultists crying and running around. Not here.
All the Putin fans will be crying when we say that Putin is a loser.
You see. Anyway, let's look at this. Let's look at this beautiful face here.
Muslims living in Britain and Muslims living in Canada, Muslims living in Australia, Muslims living in the Muslim lands. Where is your vision for the next 50 years? We can have a global vision and we can have a local vision. I believe we should have at least 3 prime ministers in the next 50 years, right? In Britain and in Canada. This is the...
In Britain and in Canada. At least 3 prime ministers in Britain and in Canada. He also mentioned Australia along the way. So he didn't mention US, as Storm D points out here. Probably because in the US there is not much of a big Muslim influence. Or
And we don't even have prime ministers here. We have a king.
That's true. We have a dictator, and this is how we do things over here. We have a dictatorship system. If you want to have if you want to propose a Muslim dictator, we're not going to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, and you don't even have the correct lineage.
That's true.
Right? Kings. You know, you got a king, and then you got his son becomes the next king, and then his little son. You got this like Russian nesting doll situation, and so it's not going to work.
Speaking of kings and dictators, don't you think it's time to slowly move toward a better system? Because democracy kind of seems like a failure, given how these guys quickly try to take it over. Maybe we should just abolish it all and go back to having absolute monarchies or something like that.
And I mean, the founding fathers of the U.S. gave all sorts of warnings about, hey, if you get the wrong kind of population, this will not work. It will not work. This will fail. This entire system will fail. This is made for a certain kind of people. If you do not have that kind of people, this system is going to break down. And the reasoning would apply to various democracies. And so, yep.
That is bigly true.
So we need a dictator.
We do.
We need a good old-fashioned dictator.
We do. Inshallah. Look at his beautiful face.
Wow, look at this.
Going towards in Britain and in Canada. This is the solution. This is going towards a positive revival of the Muslim Ummah.
I want to see
a positive revival of the Muslim Ummah.
We want our caliphate back, and we have our caliphate that you took from us because you beat us because we were so weak.
Now these two clowns have something to add here. Let's see.
The Muslim Ummah.
I want to see the whole world led by a just Khalifa. And there's no.
Did he say led by Mia Khalifa?
Yeah, he wants the whole world led by Mia Khalifa, which is just very. And he says there's no shame in saying that. Really, there's no shame in saying that.
Seriously, dude. Seriously,
that's a little bit.
Their ultimate heroes are Andrew Tate, a pornographer, and Mia Khalifa, a porn star. Great guys, doing an awesome job, Ummah.
What an embarrassing thing to say. And he really said there is no shame in saying that. I have some shame, man.
Yeah, have some shame. But she has big, she has big zaboobas. This proves she is very holy and righteous in Islam, and she should lead the Ummah with her big zaboobas.
This is true. Mia Khalifa is their queen. Speaking of monarchies and all that, maybe they could start there. They could start with her. Yeah. So this is what he says, what Adnan Rashid says about Muslims taking over, and just want everyone to remember what his precise thoughts are. His precise thoughts are, in this case, that that this is a long-term vision, that Muslims should be taking over by installing prime ministers in countries where they have the means to do that, where they have the means to install their own leaders. So they are supposed to take advantage of democracies and then install their own leaders and have Muslims in charge. This is the funny thing. Like this is literally Islamization. There was a decade ago or so, or I don't know, maybe a decade ago, if you said in European countries that there is an Islamization ongoing, you were just called a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Yep, you were called an Islamophobe, a bigot, a racist, and the only possible reason for you to say that, hey, there are people here who actually want to take over your country and so on. The only possible basis for saying that was you're just racist against brown people. Not because you're reading the Muslim sources and seeing that Islam calls for the violent subjugation of the entire world. Couldn't possibly be because of that. You just have a problem with brown people.
And that's most likely true. Otherwise, why would you point out that there is an Islamization going on? However, now we have Muslims like this guy openly sharing the plan with us. I mean, he's not even saying it would be good. He's not saying this is what should be happening. He's not saying in an ideal future or anything like that. He says this is a plan.
Mm-hmm.
This is a vision for the future.
And by the way, I mean, keep in mind, it didn't come out of nowhere, right? They tested the waters for years. So they had terrorist attacks for years. And the more terrorist attacks they launched, the more politicians and journalists defended them and propped them up and said how great their religion was. And then you eventually get to the point where you Ali Dawah tests the waters and says, yeah, when we take over, we're gonna kill these apostates, yeah, and we're gonna chop their heads off, and we're all gonna be watching and eating popcorn, yeah, in there, and we're proud of that. And then you'd think, oh, now the cat's out of the bag. Now people are gonna have a problem with Islam. I mean, they are talking about chopping the heads off of tons of people because of their religious beliefs. But obviously, this is going to be a problem. Wrong. They defend Islam even more. And so they've just realized it does not matter what we do. We can blow them up daily. We can go on stabbing sprees daily. We can announce our plans daily. We can talk about all the people we're going to kill and slaughter daily. We can do this. They will not, under any circumstances, take a stand against it because they've been programmed that the only way anyone would object to any of this is because of racism and Islamophobia. And so now they can shout it from the rooftops.
Shout it from the rooftops. We're gonna take over the world. What a beautiful, beautiful religion. And here you have the royal family's input here. What a joke, man. The
How do you
The
like
head of
your
the
royal
United Kingdom.
overlords, people of Great Britain?
the United Kingdom, the head of the United Kingdom.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize the king would be so fast. You are. I can see them. I know. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so I never realized this is a speedy couple.
You know, so here you have the royal family saying packing dates at Darjeeling Express. Traditionally, dates are eaten as the first food to break the fast at sunset during Ramadan. Their majesties helped pack dates that would be sent to local hospitals for iftar during the holy month. Now, I'm not really like in line with much of the whole, very traditionalist, monarchist, super British patriotic way of thinking. But if I had a significant population of a certain religious background, and this population of a certain religious background repeatedly carried out terrorist attacks, and their thought leaders in my country, in this country, openly said that they want to take over and openly said that they want to push for it, I would expect of my king to be an old school king and to pick up the sword and say, "All right, it's time for you guys to leave." I wouldn't expect him to be a little servant to those people.
Wait, so when you have these guys gang raping endless arrays of young British girls, you're talking hundreds of thousands, when you have the endless terrorist attacks, when you have all these just random stabbings and so on around Great Britain, and when you have the leaders of the community announcing that they want to subjugate people, announcing that they want to take over, announcing that they want a Muslim ruler, announcing that they're going to kill apostates and so on. In that situation, you wouldn't expect the king to grovel before them and say, look, everyone, I'm with it all the way, 100%. Yes. Let's pack dates for our overlords, our soon-to-be overlords. Can you imagine that? You're a king. And you're saying, hey, look at me packing dates for the people who want to subjugate me.
Can I kiss your feet? Can I rub you? Can I love you? They want to take over, but our king, he serves them. Our king doesn't serve us.
Can you imagine them look at this? Can you imagine Muslims looking at this? Look at this idiot, man. Like we are building a system where he is going to serve us, and he's doing it willingly. Like we are going to subjugate all of these guys. We're going to subjugate them, and they're going to be doing whatever we say. And we haven't even subjugated them yet. And this guy's packing our dates for us.
Man, it's insane. And it gets even worse. It gets much worse. So I briefly want to address one thing here, which is as somebody who has expressed some interest in Catholicism recently, I came across the video of this guy here, Cardinal Dolan, who is, as far as I understand, currently the cardinal.
He's like New York, isn't he?
In charge of Archbishop of New York. He's the Archbishop of New York.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
So he's not just some random bro. He's the Archbishop of New York. That's what he is. And he had the following words to say about Ramadan. So it says, Ramadan starts tomorrow. Ramadan is the season of penance.
What? Wait, what? Penance? What?
For our Islamic brothers and sisters, do they ever take it seriously? I tell you that because Ash Wednesday is coming up. That's kind of like our Ramadan. Now let's look at the post here. Let's look at what he says.
Hi, everybody. It's Friday, the last day of February. Cardinal Dolan here. Thanks for joining.
Why does he sound like Alex Jones?
Ramadan starts. Ramadan is the season of penance for our Islamic brothers and sisters.
Why is he waving food in front of them? Is he taunting them? Maybe it's a subliminal thing. Yeah, technically, I've been told I have to praise your stuff, but ooh, looky what I got here.
Looky. Ramadan is not a month of penance. Ramadan is not a month. There is no month of penance. Ramadan is not about penance. It has nothing to do with penance. That's not what it is about.
It's a month of gorging yourself with food and claiming to be fasting and demanding praise for your great act of pretending to fast. It's trans fasting. Say it, Cardinal. Then we would respect you. Ramadan is a month of trans fasting. It's feasting that identifies as fasting. That's what you say. And AP would be at your next church service. And you screwed it up.
I mean, here's the thing. I respect the priestly authority of this guy. I'm sure if I asked him about the Bible, if I asked him about worship, if I asked him about, I don't know, the Catholic canons and the councils and whatever it is, I'm pretty sure that there is a lot that I could learn from this cardinal. There's probably a lot that I can learn from authorities like these, and I have nothing but respect for it. But then these same people who are supposed to be religious leaders, religious authorities, then come here and start arrogating and talking about these things that they don't seem to understand and don't seem to know much about. And honestly, if I was under this guy's authority, for example, and I was consulting this guy for his opinions, and then he starts talking about how Muslims are our brothers and sisters and they have their own month of penance called Ramadan and they take it very seriously and they suffer and so on, I would think, with my ex-Muslim background and with everything that I know, I obviously know more about Islam than he does. I would think, you have lost a lot of respect here. Why do you need to do this? Why can't you just stick to the things that you are supposed to teach, the things that you're supposed to lead people on, instead of coming here and, as said, arrogating and talking about this kind of stuff? Ramadan is not a month of penance. It is not. The only reason why Muslims fast on Ramadan is because they are told to fast on Ramadan. And further reason given is that it's supposed to bring you closer to Allah and make you practice things and teach obedience and so on. There is no aspect of penance about it at all. It's not even mentioned.
Yeah, the real reason for Ramadan, the real reason is that Islam just gives people a bunch of stupid, idiotic tasks to make them feel like they're doing a bunch of great, noble stuff, right?
Yeah.
Without actually having to do anything like seriously difficult. And it's all just, hey, here are things to do to make you feel like you're doing something very religious. And really, it's all just to prepare you for jihad eventually. We'll just give you all these things to do and you keep doing what you're told and we'll program you to do all these little things. And then eventually we'll tell you to have to go out and fight and subjugate the kuffar and so on. And so it gives you this giant month of, hey, gorge yourself with food for an entire month. Again, ladies, if you're not familiar with this, if you're in the United States, you're familiar with Thanksgiving. Imagine eating a big Thanksgiving meal for breakfast. We eat an entire Thanksgiving meal for breakfast, and then you sleep all day, and then you wake up in the evening and you eat another giant Thanksgiving dinner, and then you hang out and eat all night, and you do that for 30 days straight. You gain a bunch of weight, and this is what they do, and they call it fasting. And when you point out, you actually show them study after study after study about how massively unhealthy this is, how people gain weight every single Ramadan from gorging themselves, and how they end up with massive problems, diabetes and so on, from Ramadan. And when you say, guys, this is all dangerous, they go, no, look, here's an article on the health benefits of fasting. Yes, the health benefits of fasting, not of gorging yourself with food all month and calling it fasting. That's something different. Bunch of dopes, man.
Yeah, it's there is one thing which would be intermittent fasting, which you could do, which possibly has like good health benefits. But with Ramadan, that's not what you're doing. You're not focusing on intermittent fasting. You're you abstain from eating during the day, and then you gorge yourself, usually with brutally exaggerated food, with more food than
super
outside of the
sugary,
month of
super
Ramadan.
fatty stuff,
And it's not healthy, man. It's
No.
it's not good. It's
no.
ridiculous.
And here's the thing: it can be hard for certain people in certain areas if you're like in, you know, some desert environment where it's 115 degrees and you still have to work during the day or something like this. But here's the thing. In those cases, it's extremely dangerous because people are having heat stroke and stuff like that. In areas where so basically in areas like that, then you actually have massive health problems and heat stroke and all kinds of things because they're doing this in the desert and they have to go to work. In areas that don't have that problem, they just reverse their day. They sleep during the day and they gorge themselves with food all night. And that's unhealthy too. They're complete. So whether you're in a situation where you have to do it and it's actually a struggle, okay, it's actually dangerous there because you have to work and it's 115 degrees out and you're not even taking a sip of water. Or you're doing it like most people do, where you eat way more food than not and you sleep during the day. So you just reverse your daily schedule. And then that's bad because you're getting massive health problems and gaining 40 pounds in a month.